I don't know how I'm going to make any money. Oh, I quit my highest earning income from my business. Hi, I'm Brooklyn and welcome back to another Water Run Chats, basically where we talk all things agriculture, business, and everything in between, really. I'm a agricultural photographer by trade, and I've been doing some YouTube videos on the side, just talking about, doing some vlogs about what we do in our everyday lives, chatting about different business topics that I think are relevant to my business and hopefully yours as well. Now, this episode, I want to chat a little bit about why I've quit the biggest money earner in my business. And it's freaking scary. It's really scary. So I've decided for 2027 that I'm no longer going to photograph horse events, at least not as the official photographer. And I think I've got to give you a little bit of context into Coverdale Media and the role that photographing horse events have played in my business, for you to understand. Now, a little bit of pre-warning, my daughter is with me today. You can't see her, she's standing up. But so if there's a lot more cuts in this video, that's why. Because as well, I choose not to show her face on social media at the moment. So she can come in and out of frame or talk, so please bear with me. So horse events have been look at her ears. Horse events have been the main part of my business for about 10 years. I started photographing them while I was still in high school. I would go to the local ag hack shows on the weekends and photograph there. Once I graduated, I started doing still more hack events, but dressage and show jumping and that kind of stuff on the weekend. And why I think I started photographing these horse events was because I had horses of my own, but they weren't at a level where I could ever really go and compete. They couldn't even load on the float at the time. So being able to go and photograph horse events was the way that I got to be around horses at a time where I could still ride, but I couldn't get out and about with my own horses. I'm just going to check a trough. Oh, it's very wet there. Let's not get bogged. That would not be fun. So as my own personal riding developed and riding interest developed, I stopped doing the hack shows and the English events, and I moved into more of like a Western horse space. And that's where my business, I think, really took off, because there was, at the time, there was heaps and heaps of people that photographed English events, but no one really who photographed the Western stuff. And I'd been away, and there was always people to photograph camp drafts and that, but doing the cow horse and the ranch, there wasn't a lot of people, at least in my area. So that's where my niche started and that my business really grew. But then, of course, as my riding has developed more and I wanted to start to compete, sitting on the sidelines in the last, I think, 4 years, not 4 years, probably the last 3 years, I started to resent I felt like I couldn't compete, because then I would let people down because I wouldn't be able to photograph everyone. And I started to resent sitting on the sidelines photographing. And that's not personally how I want to show up in my business. I don't want to go to an event and be like, I effing hate this, because I want to be riding. When I photograph, I want to be able to go, this is my thing, I love it, I'm obsessed with it. But it just for the last few years hasn't been that way. And it's not only because of riding, that's been one part of it. In the moment when I'm there, that's the issue. But then another part is I've done nothing but photograph events since my daughter was born. I think I photographed my first event when she was 6 weeks old. I didn't have a maternity leave. The amount of times I've been away because I've got events to photograph and I can't take her, it's really starting to take a toll, and it hurts. I don't like being away from my family, and then when I get home, I have thousands and thousands of photos to go through. So I feel like even though I'm home, I'm not present with her. I'm just putting the TV on to keep her entertained while I edit photos, especially now because we've we've moved out of my parents' house and quite far from a lot of family. Oh, yeah, another spot where we might get bogged. No, we're good. Quite far from a lot of family, and so I can't be like, oh, I've got editing to do, can she come to your house? And yes, she's in daycare, but I now work those days that she's in daycare. It's making finding time to edit thousands of photos really, really difficult. And you might say to me, oh, well, Brooklyn, you could give yourself weeks to do it. The issue with horse events is people want to see their photos at least within the first week, like as soon as possible. If you're leaving it multiple weeks to put up a gallery, people then have been to other events and they're not as interested. Where if you can get that gallery up when everyone's still hyped about the event, that's when you're going to make your most amount of money. Yes, I still go away on weekends for weddings, but I'm not sitting on the lounge for a week going, oh my God, I've got to get this up, or no one's going to buy photos. Obviously those weddings are already paid for, and I give myself, I think, 6 to 8 weeks as a turnaround time for those weddings. So they're not consuming my life for a week afterwards, you know what I mean? I guess the next part of this is, well, if that's my main business, how am I going to make money otherwise? And it's been a really scary step. It's not something I've taken lightly, and it's not something that I've, just rashly jumped into. But there are other aspects of my business that I think I could really develop if I had the time to. And that time is being taken up by the event galleries. So, weddings, I'm really enjoying doing weddings, and I've got quite a few more bookings for those. I'm really loving dog stuff and like the dog sale content, and I would love to work with more brands on dog content, as well as just rural content in general. And not to say that I don't want to do horses anymore, I still do, but I think if I'm going... Pardon? I know, it's a bit wet. I think if I'm going to start going back to events, it's going to be in more of a private content creator situation rather than the official event photographer. So I don't mind going to an event and going for example, a group of riders and getting videos and behind the scenes photos and that kind of thing for them. And not every event allows that, so which makes it a little bit difficult. I'm more than happy to pay media fees and stuff like that, but as I said, not every event allows that. So that'll be a bit iffy, I think, going forward, because I don't think, especially in cow horse, that's been a thing yet. So maybe we'll make it a thing, I don't know. But then also for the events, if they've already got an official photographer, well, I'll backtrack a little bit. It is so much effort as the official photographer trying to get event photos of every single person, behind the scenes photos and reels. It is a massive job, and I've done it for lots of events, and it is massive. So I think what I want to do instead is market more of a content creator package to the events who already have an official photographer but want to get reels, want to get candid and behind the scenes photos. That's the area where I really thrive. So that's something that I'm going to start pitching to these events, that maybe I'd normally go and be the official photographer, but I can do this service for them instead to help elevate the whole general coverage of their event. Because it's all well and good having just event photos, but I think really being able to concentrate on those reels and those behind the scenes moments really make people feel like they're there and that they want to be there next time. So this isn't goodbye to event photography, not in the slightest, because I still love it. And I do think I would still like to do the dog. This is going to sound really hypocritical because the horse people are going to go, oh, but you won't do horse events, but you'll do dog events. I still would love to try and do dog event, like dog trials, because I think I'm not competing in that space, and I'm not, I do want to. I love being able to do event photography of an event and to learn it, because you're watching every single run. You know what's going good, you know what's going bad. So in that way, I would still love to book dog trials. I haven't done a lot of them because so far no one really wants to pay, and that's a separate issue. But in the way of horse events, I think my plan going forward is next year I would really love to ride at a few cow horses, and I'm going to say to those event organisers, hey, would you be interested in me doing behind the scenes content for you? Or if they not interested and they don't have the budget for that, which is fine, like not everyone, that's fine. Not everyone has the biggest budget, and I completely understand that. Or in that situation, would you be happy for me to book some clients at this event who will want the behind the scenes and candid content? I'm happy to pay you, the committee, a media fee, which will then help pay for your official photographer, because I don't want this to take away from official photographers at all. I think personally, in these situations of private content creators, those people should be paying the committee a media fee that then helps pay for the official photographer. Everyone needs to be getting paid. There's no, I'm not trying to poach from anyone or anything like that. Everyone needs to get paid. So don't think I'm trying to poach from, oh my God, another spot where I might get bogged. Don't think I'm trying to poach from official photographers at all, because I've been in the boat where people have rocked up to events without asking organisers and posted images for free. This is a completely different thing. Anyway, I hope that gives some insight into how I'm thinking and where my business is going. I'm nearly done. It's definitely scary. It's so scary because this has been a massive part of my business for my whole photography career. And so just getting rid of that it's terrifying. It is so scary. So you never know, you might catch me in 2028 going, that didn't work, I'll book event photography again. But, as Blakely gets older, we've got more things on weekends. I want to put her in pony club and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think as our family grows and gets older, I don't think we have that space and time anymore. And when she goes to school, I'll probably be working full time, so I won't have the time to be editing those photos. Because as much as I love photography, I don't think I necessarily want it to be my full-time job now. I really, really enjoy working in ag. I love stock work. And if I'm doing photography full-time, well, I can't do that stuff. So, we don't have our own place. It's not like I can just go, I'm just going to go help Jacob move this mob of sheep and it's fine. Like, no, I need to actually, if I want to do that, I need to have a job. So I'm just lucky in the fact that where we are, they are so flexible for me to do my own business. Like, not a lot of employers would be like that at all. So anyway, yeah, I hope that gives a bit of insight on my thought process behind not being the official photographer for events anymore. It's definitely scary, and I hope you guys follow along with this. Oh God. Uh-oh. What's that? That's high 4. No, I don't want high 4. I want low 4. High 2. I don't know how. I drive patrols. I don't know how to put a Toyota in 4-wheel drive. High 2. It's okay, I didn't get bogged. I nearly did. I don't even know how to put this in low 4. I'm only in high 4. High 4? Yeah, high 4. I don't know how to put a Toyota in 4-wheel drive. So, anyway, that's a great time to end this video because my windscreen's fogging up and I didn't have the aircon on to demist it so you could hear me. So, I think this is where we go. Over and out.